Hey everybody, and welcome to a very special Week 4 recap show with spoilers at the end, so don't worry. If you don't want to be spoiled, you're not going to get them at the end. We will give you a warning, but we have so much to get to on this show with your favorite Aika, and I have a feeling Dimitri might be here too. But first, let me let you guys know if you've missed any of our past shows, you need to see where you're placing in the trash draft. If you want to see flashback times, previous shows, so that you guys get it. All the content for this season is at yourrealityrecaps.com/bb21. And by the way, all the content for all the other seasons are there as well, going all the way back to season 12. So if you want to watch our season 12 mashups, it's /BB12, /BB13, 14, 15, go all the way to 21. We've interviewed basically every single house guest. We have everything for every season over on our website. Click around, it really helps support these shows, as does thumbsing up and subscribing if you're watching on YouTube, clicking the bell, leaving a comment below on YouTube. Great free ways to help support the show, or a 5-star rating and a nice review on iTunes is amazing as well. If you're one of the few left that don't have the feeds, I hope you will get them from us at yourrealityrecaps.com/feeds, or if you want to watch them for free, consider becoming a live feed updater. For us, you get to watch the feeds for free and you help support us. Now, if you are watching in the future, you could have been watching us doing this live over on TV Co. Just head over to yourrealityrecaps.com/TV Co. You can download the app so you can chat with us live, or you can watch on a webpage. You just can't chat if you follow my link that I tweet out right before we go live at Reality Recaps on Twitter. And of course, we are still doing shows every single day on YouNow as well. It's just the Big Brother shows that are live on TV Co. And yes, we are doing them live on TV Co every day. We're also doing daily live feed update shows now. So every afternoon, we go live and fill you guys in on what you missed the day before on the live feeds. Lastly, if you want to financially help support our shows, we can't keep all of this going without financial support from viewers like you. I sound like PBS. Look, you guys also don't get like the 15 commercials during this show, so you should just appreciate this. We are literally the PBS. We survive from your funding. And becoming a patron. yourrealityrecaps.com/patron. Patrons get access to the patron-only Facebook group, prize giveaways, weekly shows just for patrons. We give away a week's worth of meal services in the patron group now. Just so much. It's a great free, not a free way, it's a great financial way to help support our shows. Or you could always just do a one-time donation at yourrealityrecaps.com/PayPal. Or if you have any shopping to do, start using our link, yourrealityrecaps.com/Amazon, or you can click the little Amazon ad in the sidebar of our website, or click any of the ads around our website. Is a great way to help support our shows. We really, really appreciate it. We really are bringing so much to you guys this season, literally 3 shows a day. We are bringing you. So any support that you want to give us, even if it's just liking and sharing what you see on social media or telling your friends about the shows, great free ways to help support us. But now, let's get to the lady, and I have a feeling friend who you guys really want to hear from. It's Aika and Dimitri. Hey. See, this is totally normal and natural for everybody watching live. I should also let everybody know watching live, you guys can start tweeting me your questions with hashtag YRRLive. You can leave them in the chat room as well. And go ahead and click the 3 little buttons on the top and share the show on your favorite social media. Everybody that shares the show, you guys are entered to win an HOH robe at the end of the show. And that I will tweet out, so that'll be fun. Now, Aika, I feel like nobody is more experienced than you to give us like this insight on these house guests, because whether, you know, you like it or not, you are the aficionado. of Big Brother interviewers. You are the one that gets to the root and the core of these people.
Oh, gosh.
And I feel like you have an insight to all of them, especially this week's HOH Nick, who, since Dimitri's here, how awkward was it that he asked Ike out on a date?
Seriously, those interviews, there's always that one guy who's got to, like, try to get his move in, and I'm, like, sitting in the corner like, man, get out of here.
He was just funny.
You thought he was funny?
I mean, I thought he was just being like Nick. Like, he's clearly like a flirt he's dating Bella, so he'll date anything.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I guess that's true.
I'm rude. I'm sorry.
No, that is not rude at all. Do you know, for one second I was like, he's dating Bella? And then I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I remember what's happening in this game. I mean, they will say they're not dating. They will say they are not dating. They are not a couple. And Nick says he's going to distance himself from Bella. Do you believe that he's going to do that this week?
You know what? Like, I don't even care for Nick and what he's distant, like, and who or what moves he's making or distancing. Like, he's canceled. So is Bella.
Now, they are canceled due to the bullying that they, did this week to people like Nicole. Is that why you're not liking them this week?
You know what? Yeah, I just feel like, because I've been keeping up on feeds on Twitter, and they're all canceled except for Nicole.
All of them?
Because Kevin's no longer there.
Really? Is there anything that you think any of them can do to kind of get back in Ika's good graces?
No, that's a tough one to get back into.
I know. Right, Dimitri? I mean, when you get in trouble, what do you do to get back into my good graces?
Yeah, Dimitri, what can they do?
What did I do yesterday? I got you beef jerky.
Cookie basket?
All your favorite stuff.
He got me all my favorite snacks, but he still really wasn't forgiven.
Oh. Well, how do you think it's going to be when you interview them at the end of the season?
I don't know. I'm hoping that, like, as the season progresses, I start to kind of, like, distance my emotions from the entire season and just... Because, like, Kemi's gone. I'm not quite sure how well Nicole will do. And I'm not as emotionally invested in the show as I was before.
Right.
So I feel like maybe I could separate, the way I'm feeling about them and just watch it unbiased. But I'm saying that now, but we'll see. Well, it's going to be super awkward interviewing these people when I've been so vocal.
What do you say to people? Because please tell me what I could say, or am I just allowed to divert them to you? What do you say to people on Twitter who are like, Ika, you're a hypocrite. You talked bad about them all season, but now here you are talking about, interviewing them at the end of the season, and you're totally nice to them. Like, how do you reply to that?
I get paid to be nice to them.
Oh, exactly. You get paid to be nice to them.
I get paid to be nice to them. Like, it's my job. You know what? I feel like at some point, and I haven't gotten in trouble with, like, any of the producers or ET Canada or anyone yet, but I am a representative of them.
Right.
And at some point, they might be like, listen, like, you are a correspondent for us. Maybe you shouldn't, call them trash all season.
I know. Maybe you should. Well, I have a feeling because, the feeds came back right as we were going live. At the end of this show, I will have some spoilers that I think are going to make you happy. I have the up-to-the-moment nominees for the end of the show. I think you're going to be happy with what's happened. But let's go back to the beginning of the week for a minute now. So like I said, a Nick HOH. At the start of this week, were you hopeful at all? Or was it just like, ugh, Nick is HOH, this is going to go downhill quick?
What did you think?
I was like, damn. You know what? I don't get Nick. I don't really get, like, his personality. He's just, like, a guy. He's pretty boring. And I was just like, oh, my God, this guy we got to watch for a whole week, like, put up people. And then I didn't think the whole bullying thing was going to go down. But it was pretty painful to watch.
I really felt like Nick was going to do whatever the alliance, whatever they're called, wanted him to do.
I mean, did he like con us pre-season? I mean, is that what it is? Because pre-season he was all like, Flint doesn't have water, mental health awareness, I'm going to stick up for all minorities in the house. And then he just goes in and it's been this week.
You know what I think? I also feel like maybe people like Nick, he needs to see blatant prejudice or blatant racism to stand up for it. I don't think he is privy to the undertones of like prejudice or bigotry or racism. Like for people like him, like he thinks he's like, I'm a great person, I stand up for inequality, but sometimes people don't recognize what that actually looks like if it's not blatantly in your face.
Yeah, I guess that could, yeah. I mean, I don't want to speak for him. I mean, we know in the real world, apparently, his job has said that they have let him go because of the events of this week. So I'm sure he's not going to be happy to hear that. But yeah, you what?
Crazy.
I heard rumors on Twitter, but I didn't know if it was true or not.
That Twitter rumor is true. Apparently, the Jackson being arrested for domestic violence one was fake.
Okay, see, I can't keep up. Like, I need hard facts with Twitter because they be throwing me off all the time.
And they need to follow up, like, this is fake or it's real. It's like you hear him and then you never hear about him again. You're like, is that true? Is it not true? I don't know.
That's because people like to make up stories to get people to watch their shows.
True.
They don't need to follow up with the negative, like, oh, that wasn't true, because then people next time wouldn't maybe come to the show when they dangle a piece of fruit in front of them to get them to come. Yeah, or read their Newsweek articles. Although Newsweek has completely retracted it. Newsweek started by saying, it's fact, it's fact, it's fact. And then they have totally redid the whole article and went, actually, we talked to the police and the courthouse, and turns out he was never arrested. So, it's been a little bit awkward. And I don't like fake facts. My whole thing is, look, a lot of these people in this house have been really racist and misogynistic and done all these horrible things. I want them to be held accountable for the things they did. I feel like if we start making up stuff, then once they come out of the house, they're going to be like, I didn't do that. I can prove I didn't do that. Everything's a lie. Like, wash their hands of it and just keep, like, pointing to the lies. Very, you know, whatever. Very trying to avoid it all because people are making stuff up instead of what they actually are doing.
I know exactly what you mean. It's kind of like it's creating this distraction.
Correct.
Where it's like, oh, no, I didn't go to jail. I didn't do that. And then, like, you can't even address what they actually did.
Yeah, right. It's watering down the crap they actually did, right?
Right. It's very much they're just going to say, it's all a lie, it's all a lie, everyone's just lying about me, look at that lie and that lie and that lie, so let's move on, next question. Oh, you're going to have so much fun, I'm going to watch how you handle it first. And then I'm just going to try and, emulate that. That is going to be the plan. Do you think that Nick made good choices with his original noms for this week, putting up Jessica and Cliff? I mean, he said, I don't want to make a bitch move. Or I am making a bitch move, which that right there was the first strike for him for me in the week. And go after a power couple. I want to try and play it safe. Would you have played it safe? Either of you?
What week is this one?
4. Oh, well, that would have been, it would have been
3, 4. You know what? If he wanted to play it safe, then he shouldn't have won HOH.
True.
I agree. I think if he wasn't going to make a big move, why would it? 100%. And then when you do win it, he knew, and I think this is something that you always tell a lot of people, almost, I think in your preseason interviews, is to follow your gut. He knew in his gut right from the beginning what the right thing to do was, to go after people like Jack and Jackson and the threats in the house, but he didn't. He decided to play it safe and ended up coming back at him at the end of the week.
You know what? I will say that when you are in the house, it is a little harder following your gut. I will say that for Nick. It's because you start thinking of all the reasons why you shouldn't go with that decision.
Right.
Because they're so big and they're so powerful. And in that house, you do perceive the people who are on the outside as weak, even though they can win things, even though anyone can win anything.
Right.
The perception is that it's that they're weak. So he wants to stay with the strong people.
Right. Well, I think we got to see a lot of strong women this week play in the Wactivity comp, sticking their hands into roaches and it being a whole creepy crawly mess. What were your thoughts on that, Aika?
I'm not joking. Like, I've been watching this season. I'm like, why are there snakes? Like, why are there cockroaches? Like, and people would watch me play those comms and say, oh my gosh, Aika didn't even try because she wouldn't even do it. No, like, that is bull. Like, this is not Fear Factor. It's Big Brother. And we shouldn't have cockroaches and snakes. Like, no. Like, no. I can't touch those things. And now it's going to seem like I'm not a good player or I'm not like willing to do these things. But I'm terrified. Like, I'm physically terrified. I physically can't do it. Like, everyone knows bunnies even scare me. So why would I touch those things?
Oh, you don't say, Aika. So, I was going to say, would it be like if they just gave you a little bunny rabbit? Even that's too much for you, Aika. So God forbid cockroaches and snakes.
I'm just like, I'm watching it. I could not believe that not even one person didn't like chicken out, because that one person would have been me.
Can you guess who kills all the bugs around here?
Oh, I figured Aika would just like walk up to them and yell at them, and they would just like fall over.
Scurry away.
They just like scurry like right away, like just send Aika right over to them, and she can just have a talking to them, and they will just leave your house. I am sure.
Like, scurry away.
If you could have picked, you know, we had the Wactivity comp. Did you like that Christy won it? That Christy got this diamond power of veto, or would you have rather have seen somebody else have it this week?
Like, it's just so shitty because, can I say shitty? I'm so sorry.
You can shittily say shitty.
You guys wrote my name. I'm so sorry again for that. But I didn't really like anybody that was playing in that comp. I didn't want Christy winning it. I didn't even want Jessica winning it. I was just like,
who's that?
Who am I supposed to pick now? You know, but Christy was just the last person I'd want to see win anything. She's just, again, like, I don't really like her right now. And again, this is me discussing how I feel while I'm emotionally invested. When I interview them, I won't be. So that's, you know.
Oh, Aika, this one I got you on. You ready? This is how I do this one. I'm talking about how they're playing the game. I'm not talking about them as people. I'm critiquing what they are doing in a game right now, not them in the real world as people.
Exactly, because I'm watching them in a game. It's just, honestly, it's so hard. And I get it. Like, sometimes I'm mean to people online because I just can't help myself. And then I see them in person at finale, and I just feel so bad. I'm like, oh, I shouldn't drag you that hard. I feel so bad. Like, you are a person. Like, and it makes me feel bad.
Look, they're reality TV stars. They know what they signed up for, and I think none of us are being as horrible as anybody is acting like we're being when we talk about these people. I saw Miss Man Cougar in the chat room says, isn't Christy the only one who can use it? So yeah, Christy's power, this diamond power of veto, I don't understand why Julie called it a classic power. Because sure, it's the diamond power of veto, but then not really, because you just have to activate the power for somebody else. So you didn't really win the power for yourself. You won the ability to turn somebody else's veto into the diamond power of veto. So it like forces you to have to be working with the person who won the veto to it even benefit you.
Exactly.
And I have a feeling it was not going to be that.
First, just not very good in my opinion. Even like Ovi's power, he should have been able to use it after Vito. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, noms always change, or they could change, and on this season they're always changing. So like, it's just I don't like the powers, to be honest.
I mean, this is just my.
Jack got the shittiest. I keep swearing. I'm really happy that Jack got the worst one.
You are allowed.
Oh, good.
I'm the one
These
swearing.
people get me fired up.
I know.
Oh, well, then in that case, fine. Then
you guys your opinion.
You're leaving us?
I'm leaving. I gotta go do some work.
Okay, fine.
Okay,
bye.
bye.
I'll be nearby. Don't worry.
Okay,
bye,
bye,
Dimitri.
honey.
Come back and say bye at the end. Yeah, it is. I don't know how to go about, I don't know how to go about the situation with the house guests and the way that they are acting in the house, but I think that when they get out, I want to believe that we will all give them a second chance and hopefully hold them accountable for what they did. I'm sorry, let me rephrase. I don't mean give them a second chance. I mean give them a chance to reply to the things that they did in the house. I don't mean a second chance. I mean, unless they're like sincerely remorseful, like, do you believe in giving people a second chance if they were to come out and say, you know, I watched myself do that, I feel horrible about the things that I did, and I said, I need to change this about myself. I do apologize. Should we give them a second chance?
I would give those people a second chance if they said that, but they usually don't.
Correct.
They usually come out and they're just like, no, I never meant it like that. It was a bad edit.
Mm-hmm.
No, and they never grow from themselves. They either blame production or they blame the edit, or they're like, oh, it's different, you know, like I was a different person in that house. And it's just, they are never ever accountable for their actions. So if they did say that, I would, but they never do.
Sometimes they do. I mean, it's the rare house guests, but there have been house guests that have come out and...
Did it?
Who? Oh, God, I have such a bad memory. See, I can remember the ones that haven't so easily, because those are the ones I haven't had on the show. Like Cody, for example, was a person who came out and was like, yeah, I said racist and homophobic stuff, and I'm not apologizing. He literally went, I said what I said. And I was like, oh, well then, don't come on the show. Well, I'm not talking about last season's people. I'm not talking about last season. I just feel like there have been people who have come on this show and have said, you're right, I shouldn't have said that, I shouldn't have done that, I did act wrong. Of course, I don't remember who they are at the moment. I'm sure maybe somebody in chat will fill me in on who they are. So the Diamond Power veto, to go back, because I saw we had questions. A lot of people have a lot of your questions. We are collecting them. You can keep putting them in the chat. We're just not getting there yet. I'm trying to get us through a few of the events first, and then we'll bring this stuff up. Unless Ika doesn't want spoilers. If Ika doesn't want spoilers, I'm not going to ask her the spoilerly questions. Okay, good. Okay, but let's talk for 1 second about, I think, people that we do love in this game. How great was it seeing Caitlyn coming back to host the POV? The best of what I think is what Big Brother does is when they are able to poke fun at things that have happened in the past and players that don't take their games so seriously. Did you like seeing a Caitlyn back in the house?
I did. You know what? I've been watching her on Rob as a podcast, and I think she's a great addition.
Yep.
I feel like she's so articulate and she expresses herself well, and she's funny, and she'll say things where I'm just like, you know what, I feel that way too, or I like how she said that. So I did like seeing her back, and I also do like seeing her on Rob's podcast.
Yeah, I think she does it every Thursday night, right? She's their regular Thursday night person now. Yeah, I definitely love her over there. All right, so whatever. So we know that Kat won, and that was kind of shocking to me. Are we not giving Kat enough credit? How do you feel about Kat in this game?
You know what? I have mixed feelings towards her. I really, really like her on the edited show, on the episodes. She's so funny. I like watching her. She's like a breath of fresh air. She reminds me of like, we haven't seen a character like hers in such a long time on the show. So I love seeing her. It's a very kind of like old school feel, Big Brother to her. And I like that. On the live feeds, I'm like, I want to like you, and I do like you on the show, but you say some off-sided things sometimes. Like, you know, let me like you, please.
Yeah, and I feel like they're all like that, which is what makes it so hard. Like, a lot of people are like, yay, Cliff, Cliff won the camp comeback. That's so great. We love Cliff. And I'm like, you guys not watching all the things that Cliff is saying? You're just watching, like, some things that Cliff says? He's said some pretty bad stuff.
Which is why I said I literally only like Kemi and Nicole and, like, maybe a quarter of Obi. And it literally ends right there.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so Kat wins. Kat decides she wants to use the veto. You know, we kind of saw the drama play out this week between Nicole getting blamed for telling Nick and Bella the information, and then Bella went and told people, and now, you know, the 6 shooters are going against Nick and Bella, and then Nick and Bella are trying to deflect it, putting it back on Nicole. A lot of people really got upset watching all of that kind of play out on the feeds, understandably so for Nicole. And I mean, you're saying that you like Nicole only, so I'm assuming you were very much not liking watching all that play out either.
No, I mean, but at the same time, it's kind of like, what did you really expect Nick and Bella to do?
Right. Did they have to lie?
They're liars. We've already established that, like, Bella literally went to school and got a degree in lying. Okay, Nick isn't really a therapist. He's literally a liologist. So we've already established this. So when they act accordingly to their character, why are we so surprised and outraged by it?
It's true. It's true. I mean, I can't deny it. It's like, I can't deny what these people are doing. It is very hard to... how do we keep watching, I guess, a season like this when so many people feel this same way? Are we supposed to just, you know, tune out? Are we supposed to be like, okay, we're done, we're not gonna watch? Or are we like, you know, I feel like I'm watching to keep tabs so that I know exactly what I'm going to talk to these people about when they get out. But I mean, like, what should the regular fan do?
Honey, you're so loud.
Dimitri! No.
He's like ruffling through bags of chips. Honey!
I am not listening to the live feeds, Dimitri. No. I don't need a crinkle bag noise. No, we didn't hear it if it makes you feel any better.
Okay, good. I was just like, oh, because this is like the second time doing it, so I thought you guys heard it the first time as well. I'm exposing you, babe. Sorry.
Dimitri exposed. No, so, I mean, what do you think people should do? How should people handle it that do love Big Brother, but are finding themselves like it's really hard to watch what's going on this season?
I know. How I've justified it to myself, because, you know, I literally watched through all of the first few weeks was horrible for me as a minority to watch.
Right.
And I think how I could see it is, there are so many times when people will say stuff like, oh, no one's like that. Everybody, you know, like, no one's racist anymore. No one's, you know, homophobic anymore. Nobody is, you know, or it's different now. Things are different now. The only thing I could say is I'm glad that we had a platform where we could see what this stuff actually looks like in 2019. Right. Because we're not 10 years ago or 20 years ago or 50 years ago anymore. Like, times have changed, and this is how things look now. And also, it's a social experiment.
Right.
If you look at it from that point where it's a social experiment, you know, we're here witnessing people as an experiment.
Right.
Right? And it's not always fun to watch, but if you love the show, your favorite, I'm sure somebody has a favorite who's still there. If Nicole leaves, I don't know what they'll do.
Yeah.
But some people still like Cliff. Some people like Kat. So there are some people there that people still do like. So hold on for those people because you're still supporting them.
Uh-huh.
And I still want a job.
We still want to be able to talk to people when this is over. So don't cancel Big Brother, everyone. Well, okay, look, here's one of the very specific moments. Now, I'm wondering if you saw the actual clip on the feeds. Did you see this water bottle incident? Did you see the full clip of just how condescending Jack was to Kemi? More so than just like the 3 seconds of it on the show. Like, he really went on and on about, like, you know, do I have to explain to you how much room water takes up? And if 4 people put water in and the other 4 people put water in, how many people putting water in the fridge would we have, Kemi? I mean...
I watched the entire... And I am not joking. It literally made me so upset, but like in a very sad way, because I am just like, if that was me, it would have gone down so much differently. And I have to literally commend Kemi for sitting there and just for saying, okay, like I'll take it out, I'll move it, because it would not have gone that way. If it were me. Like, I'm not joking. Like, they literally had the right one in that house.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely. And I mean, look, I do not want to defend Jack in any way. However, you got to admit this is a little bit ridiculous, Aika. I don't know what Kemi is doing, but she has 9,000 water bottles in that fridge. No. I literally said this is the most ridiculous thing ever, because it wasn't even the water bottle, it was the protein shake, and I wish I would have the water bottle with me right now, but they're basically this glass, which is technically smaller than the actual thing that she was using. And for him to just act like that is taking up any room in the fridge is just a ridiculous power play that I don't, you're right, that would have been the straw that broke the camel's back for me.
And I mean, I'm not in the American house, but like in the Canadian house, if someone was like, why do you have your water bottle in the fridge? I would have laughed in their face. Like, it really would have been so absurd and so like weird. It would be so weird of someone being like, your water bottle's in the fridge. Like, I'm sorry, but like, they act like they went grocery shopping and they pay for the fridge and the food. Like, they get everything for free. Like, who cares? I can't believe he went on like that. And it was just so belittling and so condescending. Like, why do you think you're so special?
Exactly. Literally. And that's, by the way, in case anybody has checked out of this season, because there have been a lot of people who are like, we're just watching your recaps. We just want to, get it that way. We're not watching the show. So just so you understand, Ika that was it. That was literally what he said, what Ika just said. He literally said, what makes you so special to get to put her water bottle in the fridge? That was a serious question that he asked her right to her face. I'm like, I don't know, I want cold water.
It's absurd that he, and can I tell you, I'm so embarrassed because when I interviewed Jack, I never picked up on any that he would be this way at all. No. Mind you, I'm going to defend myself in this situation and say that he was my very first interview. Okay. I don't know if he was a recruit because there wasn't much information on him on like his bio sheet at all. It was like barely any. And I was just going based off of like the person that was in front of me. And I'm usually pretty good at reading people, but I'm telling you, he seemed like a nice, fun guy.
He did. And I think everybody loved him pre-season. Everybody was like, Team Jack, he's so hot, Aquaman, we love him, but oh God. He took a turn. Okay, not everyone. You're correct. I didn't, by the way. I'm saying the majority of the people. I was never about him because you will never, ever convince me that any part of a man bun is attractive. It is disgusting. And if you had been like, your water bottle's in the fridge, I would have been like, there's a dead rat nest on your head. What's your point? Do you need to use my water bottle to wash your hair, Jack? Because that's disgusting.
I just can't believe, and I do believe that like these people in their minds, they don't understand their own prejudice. To be honest, like they have called Kemi aggressive, they have called her like the B word, they have called her all entitled, all these things, and the most aggressive woman in that house is Christy. No one's calling her that. You know, the most like entitled person in that house definitely is Jack.
Right.
And like, but they don't get those labels. You know, but Kemi, who has to be like, okay, sure, is so aggressive.
Right. And, you know, Kemi, in that moment, I am sure what was going through Kemi's mind was, I have to sit here and laugh. I have to sit here and act like this is okay, because if I do one thing, then everyone will label me the angry black woman. So I just need to sit here and smile and laugh and be like, oh, yes, other adult telling me I can't have water in the fridge because I want to rip your head off.
No. She is, like, for sure 100% thinking that. I remember, like, having that conversation with myself going on, you know, season 5. I remember saying, or even season 2, I was just like, shit, like, I don't want to portray this typical black girl,
right,
ghetto, ratchet, loud, aggressive person. I don't want to do that to reinforce negative stereotypes and to, you know, have these labels further placed on black people or women. And I did feel that pressure, but like when I got there, I was just like, I have to just be myself and I don't care how it looks anymore. I tried it for a good week and then I was done. You know, like before live feeds, I was just like, you know what, let me just try. Like season 2, I didn't try, but season 5, I knew better. I was just like, okay, this, like, I could look bad and I see how it does reinforce this whole thing.
Right.
But no matter what, even if I had sat there like Kemi, it's just proof that, oh, I got, you know, she's scary or she's a bitch or she's this or she's that. Like, I would have had those labels regardless.
And I mean, what do people do? I mean, I feel like I am not in a position. So many people always say to me, like, Eric, you know, comment on the racism or comment what's happening, you know, in the house, what you do. And I always say, I don't know if you all noticed, I'm a white man. Now, granted, I'm gay, but I could technically hide the gay. Watch. See? But, like, see? I did it. I totally did it. But I will never know what it's like, you know, to be a black person, because I'll never know what it's like not to be able to hide the thing that people are being prejudiced towards me against. And yes, CBS needs to cast it better. CBS needs to let the more conversations happen about it. And I don't know, I don't think they're ever going to fix it, to be honest.
You know what it is? It's kind of like this. You know when you like, because I feel like you have the sense, you know when you walk into a room and you could tell that someone doesn't like you because you're gay or because of whatever reason, but you know it's because you're gay. Like you could, but other people who aren't gay, it would go right over their heads. But you could tell that like, this person's feeling uncomfortable because I'm gay. You could tell. Right. For a black person, we could tell when we walk into a room and it's the same thing. And we have to try to like win that person over or try to not reinforce what they already think about us. And it's really, really hard. You know, it's not like we're not proud of being black or we're not proud of, you know, the way we were born, but it's kind of like we're constantly trying to say, oh, like you think that about my culture, but no, like that's not me. And I'm going to show you right now because I really need this job or I really need this opportunity. And it really, really sucks that people put us in this position to do that.
And, I mean, I think Devon said it perfectly. When you just place, you know, one person of color, like, in the house, in a game where you need numbers to survive, where do you expect them to go? They are going to be the obvious one that is standing out. They're going to be the one that people feel like they can't relate to. I don't understand why we can't have it. We need way less white people in the house. They need to, like, mix it up a lot more. And I think the challenge that Devon has gone on to and played does a better job, but also still owned by Viacom and still not great. But I hope that they're going to mix it up, or at least acknowledge something that has happened this season. Because I think what fans are very upset about is that there's nothing coming out from CBS. Like, they just keep giving Jack this kind of okay edit. And I almost think their response to that this week was, look, we showed the water bottle thing. But you showed it, like, as a joke, and you showed Kemi laughing. You didn't really show what it was like at all.
Yeah. I you know what? I feel like I could understand. I'm going to play devil's advocate just because, again, when you're a minority, we understand these things.
Right.
And I'm sure it's also, like, frustrating for you when they cast, like, the overzealous gay guy. Like, there's so many smart, intellectual, you know, representatives that could go on a show, but they put the one who's just like, and I'm sure you're just like, great, like, here we go again, right?
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's the exact same thing for, like, a person of color. It's like that one person you put on the show doesn't reflect all of us.
Correct.
But you have, like, white people that could reflect someone.
Right.
And we have to take what we could get and ride for them because they are in our community.
Right.
Even if they're nothing like us, or we don't even really agree with them.
Right.
We're just like, okay, great. Like, we're going to support because there's one or two or whatever. And I also feel like I could see in their minds how they think it's diverse. They have a lesbian there, a gay guy there, a Latina, an Asian, and they have Kemi, who's Black, and they also have David, who's Black. So in their minds, they're like, oh, this is diverse. This is so diverse. Right. But they don't understand that, like, you have, like, 6 white girls and, like, 6 white guys, and there's only one Black girl, and there's, like, nobody else for her to, like, really have, you know, hair talk with, like, girl, my wig is falling off, or, oh my gosh, like, what are you doing with this? Like, you can't have those conversations with like, other races. They won't get it.
And it's hard to argue the point, like, because people will say, sure, it was very diverse at the start of the season, but look, we saw the way it played out. The first second that Jackson, white guy, got power, it was minority, 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 plus size lady that I'm not attracted to, you're all in trouble. Yeah. Like, that's what Jackson did. And then ever since then, it is so hard to argue that there was any reason outside of game for, let's say, them to hate David. There was, like, David was in that house for 3 seconds and they just hated him. And then they talked about hating him the entire time. Wasn't even there. They're still talking about Kemi.
That if you told them that they're, like, prejudiced or that they're racist, or they would be like, oh my gosh, how could you say that to us? Like, this is not true. Like, we've never said anything racist, but, like, you really don't have to say it.
No, and I wonder if they're going to come out and get it. I think some people need to see, they need to, like, see it. Like, some people, one might argue reality TV stars or people that host shows are so into, like, what we think we're portraying that until we actually see it playing out in front of us and go, oh God, am I doing that? That you don't realize it.
Can I tell you, I don't think I think they'll say, well, we were living there and it wasn't like that. That's not how it really was. Like, that's not what I meant. I just didn't like Kemi because, you know, she was coming after me. And I didn't like David. It has nothing to do with his skin color. Like, they're going to completely justify it because I could tell you, like, on season 2, like, I wasn't very nice to Heather.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I wasn't very nice to her before I left the house.
Right.
I didn't need to come home and watch it on TV to say, oh, you know, I apologized to her before I even left because I knew I wasn't very nice. Yeah. So it's kind of like, so when people are just like, oh, like, you were mean, like, you did this and that to Heather, there's no justifying it. Like, I already apologized to her in the house because I knew.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that it takes people to come home and watch, but they're in such denial. Like, from my experience, they're in this huge denial, and they're just like, well, that's not how it was. Like, that's not what we meant by it. You guys are reading it all wrong.
I agree. And I mean, you know, even in seeing, let's say, Cliff win this camp comeback competition, so great. I mean, not who I wanted to be coming back. Is who did you want to come back into the with the camp comeback?
I wanted Kemi to go back. A part of me did, and a part of me didn't. A part of me was like, I want her to go back, just because she is one of the most interesting person of the 3 of the 4 of them, you know, to go back in. And a part of me was just like, you know what, like, she needs to just leave the house because this really ain't it.
Yeah, I mean, I was torn. I really wanted Kemi to go back as well, but I just wanted OV a touch more, only because I thought maybe his power could give power to people like Nicole in that game and him in that game, and maybe let them be able to form something. But I agree, if David or Kemi would have went back in, they would have just become the target all over again and gone right back out. So I felt like I was rooting for a power to go back in more.
I know. I mean, like, Ovi, to me, like, he's a little naive and just...
Definitely.
I just don't like watching him play the game. Like, he's a really, if you talk to him, the nicest, sweetest guy ever. Like, nice person, very frustrating to watch. David, you know, like, on the episodes, David comes off super knowledgeable, super nice, super, like, somebody who is rootable. On the live feeds, I just don't like the way he just continuously joined in and bashed Kemi. Yep. He seems like someone who was trying to fit in with the cool people, and he seemed like someone who was just like trying to please all these people. I feel like he was trying to fit in with white people. There, I said it. That's how I really feel like it. And he did not want to be associated with this black girl, Kemi, and it really rubbed me the wrong way. And if I had a chance to interview him, I would have been like, is that what you were doing? You know? Especially coming out of the house right now. Rob was so nice to them.
I know. Well, he has to be. That's why I don't talk to them now. I don't want to talk to them right now when, you know, PR is over you monitoring everything you say. I'll wait to the end of the season when we can ask whatever we want. Because that is much more, like, yeah, I get it. They're going to have, like, the PR answers for everything we ask now. Got it. I'll wait to the end of the season. But, I mean, so to that point about asking them questions, you know, I think a big topic last night for a lot of people was, did you feel like Julie was trying to get them? So once we saw Cliff get it, now Cliff is back in the game, so of course, that's a really hard thing for CBS to deny. Let's look at you have the 3 people of color sitting on stage. Do you feel like Julie was trying to get them to say, we're here because of the racism that we faced in the house? Or do you think she was trying to, like, brush it off? Like, it wasn't a big thing.
I think she was trying to do that. I also feel like she should have asked that question to Kemi as well. But I also feel like this. I feel like the thing is, it's really hard, you know, and especially, and I'm just speaking from my experience, because I cannot speak for Kemi, David, or Ovi because I'm not them.
Right.
But for me, even when I feel like people are prejudiced towards me, it's really hard for me to come out to people and say I am sitting here because of that, or because they'll accuse you of playing the race card, and they don't know how things are being perceived,
Right.
and they will, or and it's a very like serious accusation to make when the people in the house didn't actually say the racist things towards them, but it's just a feeling that you have as to why. I could see why they were very hesitant into saying, I think I'm hurt for the color of my skin, because now you have to defend that statement.
Correct.
And it's hard to defend a feeling that you get and not hard facts. So I definitely understand how they feel.
I understood too. That's why I thought it was ridiculous. I thought the line of questioning from Julie was ridiculous. I felt like she was very much kept trying to like set David up to say it, and then he wouldn't. Ask him again, and then he wouldn't. Move on to Ovi. Okay, now I'm going to make it more clear. Do you feel that, I forget exactly how she phrased it, but like...
were ostracized in the house. I mean, if she had asked it the way Rob did, because they're not going back into the house. Say something like, many of our audience felt like the reason why you're sitting here is because you're minorities. Is that how you feel?
Right.
If you're going to ask the question, ask the question.
Right, but she wanted, I feel, my opinion, she wanted to put it on them. She wanted to make it like they're the ones bringing it up. They're the ones addressing it. Right, which I thought was ridiculous. I was like, the whole thing was just handled horribly. On one hand, I don't think it's ever going to be addressed the way we want it to be addressed by them. But part of me is also like, I'm glad they get to be in the real world now and see that the majority of Big Brother fans actually love them and just get away from that experience. Because I think it's just like breeding toxicity for them.
Yeah, I would really hope, like, if there's someone I want to leave the show and come out and learn and know and see something, it is David. There is nothing more frustrating than having someone, because this is the thing, if the moment someone of like your own culture say, oh, like, Kenny's so bitchy and she's aggressive and she's whatever and I didn't like her and she was all of these things, it's like reinforcing that, how those people treated her is not based on prejudice. It's just based on she's the problem. And I felt like he kept on doing that just to fit in. And people like David really hurt the Black community. And I really hope that he learns and grows from that, because he is also a problem. And not just Jack or Jackson. David is also a problem. And I really hope he knows that.
So, I mean, for the exact same reasons, do you think that he will say, as his response to that, that's what I needed to do in case I got back in the game so that I had somewhere I could go and have a chance to win the game? Like, that's why we're here. We're playing a game. Do you think he's going to try and separate it like that? And would you accept that answer?
When Rob, I would have accepted it, but when Rob asked him those questions, like, who did you not like in the house? He said Kemi. And you want to know what he said? Because she would whisper to him, and other people in the house didn't like her, so he didn't really want to be associated with her. And she rubbed people the wrong way and all this stuff. Like, David is so disappointing to me, and I actually dislike him a lot more than I dislike Jack and Jackson.
Wow, really?
Only because, and every single person of color in this chat, if you have any, will know where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
It's just so annoying. It's so annoying when you have people from your own culture reinforce the negative stereotypes about, like the women or the men. And that is what makes it true to other cultures. It's like, well, your own culture is saying it, so it's true. Right. Like, that is what's so wrong. It's kind of like, it takes the onus off of, if we're saying, we could see clear as day that, Jackson and Jack and all of them are just so wrong with how they're treating minorities and Kemi. When David does that, they're like, well, no, I'm not prejudiced. You know, that's just how I felt. And David feels the exact same way. And David feels that way because he's a chicken.
Right.
He's literally chicken. And he is just like, he's probably thinking that America sees Kemi as this little ratchet ghetto girl too. And he doesn't want to be associated with it. Mm-hmm. And because I'm sorry, David, nobody was harder to live with in that house more than Jack or Jackson. So for you to say Kemi, like, you played yourself.
Right, exactly. I completely agree with that. 100%. Yeah. So, and I mean, I think it's the same exact thing as what I was, well, not the same exact thing, but kind of like where I was saying we need to hold them accountable for what they actually did, because you give people something to latch onto. Now people will be able to say, well, David was okay with it, so it's fine. Yeah, I can't be racist saying these things about Kemi because David said them about Kemi.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, you know, like, if we're watching this and everyone's being homophobic towards someone, okay, and there's 2 gay people in the house, and we see as clear as day that these people are being homophobic, and then you have the other person, you know, the other minority being like, I don't want to be associated with him because no one likes him, and he's whispering and he's rubbing people the wrong way, and it's like, it just makes the other, like, gay person look so bad. It's like, what happens to just, like, sticking together? And, like, you could stand in it, too. Like, you could say, you know what, this is how I feel. But when you're just like, oh, like, I'm not like that. That is not me. I'm the better one.
Right.
Like, that's pretty much what David was doing.
Right. That was what David was doing. So it's, I completely agree. I completely agree.
Like, I feel like because you always say, you know what, like, I'm not black, so I can't speak on, but you can, because we're all minorities, and we all know what it feels like. And we've all had people in our community do it to us. Yeah, no, 100%. And I think that in this game, I think the one thing that's always going to be the excuse or the thing that people use is, I can't because I'm trying to win the money. Like, that's always going to be the default excuse, I think, for everyone. I have a feeling that's exactly what David's going to say. Once he thinks about it more clearly. I would have completely accepted it. You know what? Like, Rob asked him, who was the hardest person to live with beside Jackson in that house? And this fool said Kemi.
Well, you also have to remember, he hasn't been released to the public yet. He needs one more day before he can see what everybody's saying, and then I bet his tune is going to change.
Oh, it will. And that's what I'm saying. I hope that person grows and learns and, you know, becomes a stronger person than he is right now, because he's looking real weak to me.
Okay, so you have a million questions. I just want to try and get to some of these really quickly. I want to take this. Okay, let me just say, we all know, spoiler alerts, this is going to involve spoilers. So if you guys don't want to hear anything about what's coming on up next week, you're going to want to leave now, because we'll be addressing some things that are spoilers and that have happened since the live show. So first up, you're aware who the HOH is. Cliff.
Yeah. Cliff HOH.
Now, have you heard who the have-nots are?
No.
Oh, if you could put any one person to be a have-not, who would you put?
Jackson.
You got it. Jackson, Tommy, Kat, and, oh god, I forgot who the other person was. But it's definitely Christy. Christy, Tommy, Jackson, and Kat are the have-nots.
Not Jack.
Not Jack, but Jackson. But don't worry, because Jack is on the block.
With who?
Jackson.
No.
Yep.
Really? Cliff did it?
Cliff did it. Who knew? I don't take everything back that I said about him, but I never thought that he would actually make that move. Literally, the feeds came back the second we went live, and I was floored. I thought he was honestly going to go Jack and Annalise, so I'm surprised he went Jack and Jackson and put Jackson on slot.
That one of those guys leave this week, please, God.
Well, I hope both powers get burned and then one of them leave. Because I have a feeling Jack will probably use his stupid you can pick again power.
That is so dumb. Doesn't even make sense.
I mean, here's what I honestly think about the powers. This is just a theory. I in no way am whatever. I think when Jack won the power, production probably went, okay, we need to dumb this power down immensely because someone from that side of the house got it. And then when Christy got her power, I kind of feel like they did the same exact thing. I think that should have been the real diamond power veto, but they're like, look, we can't let that side of the house steamroll. People are going to stop watching. Let's dumb the power down a little. That's just my opinion. I think that might be what happened. But yes, I mean, could one of them be saved? I mean, technically, yes. If Christy uses her power on, let's just say Jackson wins, Christy uses the power, then Jackson gets to replace the nominee, then I think they do have the numbers to get the person they want out. So they could throw it.
I just want one of them to leave. Especially Jack. Jack needs to just take his whole ass home.
I know, and this is why we need to hope that we have good people playing in the POV and that Christy does not use her power, because she very well could easily use her power and then they have the numbers. They could throw a Jess up, get her out, take the number away from that side. So that is going to be bad. Katrina Sauer says from Twitter, how do you think Jackson will do on slop this week? He's already asking the house to save food for him. So the DR's trolling him. They gave them the most food that they've ever given them. Like, the pantry is loaded, and they gave them the fish that Jackson requested, like the sushi grade or whatever. So they're totally trolling Jackson being on slop in the DR. But how do you think he'll handle it? Katrina wants to know.
I hope not well.
Yeah, I think we all hope not. We all hope.
That is it. I hope not well.
Golden Hermit says, have you reached out to David, Ovi, and Kemi yet? If not, do you plan to in the future?
I never typically reach out to house guests, and I'll tell you why. It's because when they leave the house, they are so overwhelmed and they already have so many people hitting them up in their DMs and reaching out, and I just don't want to be one more person overwhelming them and doing that. So I typically don't. Sometimes I'll wait a while when things kind of cool off and I'll reach out and say, hey, I hope you're doing well, or I won't. And it comes off a little cold on my part, but it's not because I'm snobby. It's just because I'm just like, shit, like they already have so many house guests and so many people, plus their family and friends, and plus, seeing all these clips and watching the show. And I don't want to be somebody who's adding to that in their life.
Sure, and I totally understand that. I think if you wanted to, another way you could think of it as, nobody is more experienced than you than to give these people advice. Having played the game, they feel comfortable with you, they've interviewed with you before. I mean, specifically this season, I think, God, they would probably love to hear from you, but that's true. Giving them space is good too. Whip 216B wants to know, if you could pick anybody to be evicted this week, who would you want to see out?
I would just get rid of Jack. They're all uglies. They're all uglies, but I would get rid of Jack.
Right.
Jackson is right there with him.
Mm-hmm.
Bella is right there with him. But if I only had to choose one,
Mm-hmm.
like Bella or Jack.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ooh, God, I almost would want Bella a little more than Jack, but yeah, Jack. Have you seen him without his beard?
I saw him. Someone
Ugh.
called him an overgrown elf.
He's something. I don't know what he is. Andy wants to know, I would like to know if Ika had to do one of those comps for 100K, which one she would pick. Oh, if you had to do, would you be willing to do one of the Whacktivity competitions? So the roaches, the snakes, or I forget what the first one was. Wasn't it just the dark room? No. I forgot what the first. The dark room was what sent David out.
What was the first one?
Yeah, what was
it a scary one?
Oh, the smells. The smell the urine, smell the coyote urine.
I would do that one. I'll smell all the urines. I'm not touching no snake. I'm not touching no cockroach.
Oh, sure. So would I, because I would just do this for 100,000. Oh, I'm smelling. Oh, that's so gross. Oh, I'm smelling. Oh, give me my 100,000. We can all fake smelling easy. That was an easy one. Today, Zach wants to know from chat, how would Ika have handled the camp comeback twist in BB Can? So I guess, would you have leaned into, let's say, having to have evicted players living with you? Because I think we kind of know how you feel about it. But what about that specifically? Would you have liked to have had the people who have been voted out stuck in the house living with you?
Oh, man. You know what? Obviously, like, you don't want them there just because you probably had a hand in them going out. But if they did, I think it'd be a lot of fun because those people have so much more insight on what's going on in the house and things that you're not privy to. I would just love talking to them and picking their... Because in my season, Cassandra, Gary, and I think Dallas went out really early, and I loved all of them. So I would have loved to have them there. Oh, my God. Yeah, I would love it.
Yeah, I think it would be great. Oh, Mark.
Oh, yeah, Mark. Sorry.
Karen, who's going to be watching this later. I had one piece of eye candy, Karen. I had one. Karen's like, oh, who's the hot blonde? He's out. Whatever.
But I mean, you got to have Dimitri, little Dimitri.
Yes, but he's yours, so I can't call him hot. Nicole says, Ika, what are your thoughts on the fact that Jackson is now boinked 2 girls in the house and that Holly and Kat are apparently friends on the outside of the house? So have you heard this whole Holly, Kat know each other outside of the house?
I heard it. You know what? Kat was... Not Kat, sorry. Was one of my least favorite person during my interviews, and I just remember thinking that she was a catty girl.
Mm-hmm.
I have a story for you guys that I never told anybody else, but I'll tell it to Eric and to the people who are in here.
Yes.
So when I did my review of the cast on my Instagram live. Holly's family and friends hit me my DMs, and I didn't see it because it got pushed down, or it wasn't my request.
Right.
So they went under my picture and they were like, please check your DM. And they sent me literally 3 written essays as to why I'm so wrong and how an amazing person she is. And she's not catty at all. And I'm wrong. And because of what I said, people are now bashing her. Sis, people were bashing her long before I said that, but okay, go off. And all of this stuff. And that she never said that she, doesn't like women. I'm like, I never said she doesn't like women either. Mm-hmm. So, never said that. But so they hit me and they're going on and on and on. Okay, now the show's happening and you see Holly clearly knows Kat in real life, knows that Kat is with Jackson and doing whatever. And what does she do? She sweeps right in and you know, goes with Jackson. Anyway, she's a catty girl. She's such a catty girl. I don't even get like how that happened to Jackson, how he got to like sleep with 2 girls in that same house, and it's okay. Like, that is some sister wives shit. I don't know.
Who now both have STDs.
Really?
You didn't know that?
Well, I know they had rashes.
Well, that's an STD, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is it STD?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
What do you mean they have? Okay, what kind of STD is it?
I don't know what it is, but they said it every time they start to talk. They're saying crabs. Oh, crabs. Kat confirmed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard Kat said it's not fun having crabs.
Yeah.
When she said that. What's crabs, by the way?
I don't know, thank God. I am so happy to have been on this earth for 39 years and never had an STD. Like you.
But I'm just thinking, like, what is? I don't know, but like, what's crabs? Like, if someone tell us what crabs is, like, I don't know. But
well, Ella.
It's a rash, so I just thought that maybe the
oh no, Chat has informed me. It is pubic lice. So do you have to get like that little comb and like shampoo yourself with the comb? Well, I wouldn't have that problem. So I don't have to worry about the pubic lice, is what I'm saying.
Oh my God! That is
shared laundry. You know, this is why people had a lot of problems too with a lot of stuff that happened. Like when they took Kemi's.
So Big Brother Canada, they literally test us for everything before we're even in the house. So how did they not get tested before going into the house?
Well, a lot of people are saying that's why they think that he was a last minute add-on, because why
still have to get tested, even if it's like a last minute add-on. Like that's a whole liability.
Golden Hermit says they're both on antibiotics for it as well. I heard her say something like, I heard Holly say something like, it's going inside of me now. Like it started on the outside, but now it's moving its way in.
It's and I was sorry. You know what? They want to go on TV and do that and bully people and be racist. You know what? A racist could get crabs.
True. I mean,
that is some nasty ass.
Here is
so is she still dating Jackson then? Yeah. Like after he gave her an STD? Allegedly.
Allegedly, sure. I mean, here's the only plus one. I'm not even going to say this is in defense of Holly or this is giving her a pass or anything. I'm just going to say this is the only plus one or positive thing that I've seen Holly do, is she has at least forced the conversation out a few times that the way Kemi is being treated is unfair. Like, in other words, I have heard her a few times in the house say, like, why is Annalise not getting bitched at for not doing the dishes, but Kemi is? Why is Kemi being treated this way and not another person? Now, she has also fed into it a million times as well, but at least there was some moments where she said something that I thought maybe someone will have a realization and then not.
I don't know. I stopped thinking that they have disease. Oh.
Correct, they do. That's why when Julie tweeted out and said, what's going to take down Unstoppable? I said, Krusty Krabs. I don't think Julie got it. Okay, let me just take like 3 more, because you got this from a few people. Miss Jenny Talley said, who's your favorite player this season?
I would, right now, just Nicole.
Yeah.
She's just a decent human being, and it's really easy cheering for her.
And Big Brother 21 wants to know, which house guest do you feel that you read the most wrong? Is there anybody whose first impression, I guess, that you had of them in your preseason interviews, they turned out so different than how they are right now in the house?
Hey, Jack.
Yeah, I think Jack. I would say Jack and Nick are the two people that have surprised. I was very vocal about loving Nick pre-season, and I should have trusted myself because he's from New Jersey. And if there's two things I know in life, one of them is you don't trust people from New Jersey. Okay? So I should have known, and that's my bad, and now I've learned. And I'd also like to point out to everyone, the Long Islander is who we all love. Before, I want to give you full screen, or not full screen, I'm going to stay here this time, but you know what I want to say? I want to let you say what you want to say to your fans, but first, I want to let everybody remember really quickly, check out yourrealityrecaps.com/BB21 if this is not where you're watching this show live, because that is the best place to watch it if you want to help support our shows. Of course, on that playlist at the top of the page, you will now notice our daily live feed update shows. We are covering the live feeds every single afternoon now with what you guys missed on the previous 24 hours. If you just want to see those shows, they're at yourrealityrecaps.com/BB21 spoilers, or of course, they are in the playlist at the top of the page at yourrealityrecaps.com/BB21 as well. And of course, check out where you stand in the trash draft, get your flashback times, your spoiler graphics to see the current house standings like I popped up during the show. So much more over there on our website. If you want to help support us, consider becoming a live feed updater and watch the feeds for free. Just fill out the form at yourrealityrecaps.com/updaters, or get the feeds from us, yourrealityrecaps.com/feeds, if you don't have them. And again, you're watching this back in the future, but you could have watched it live over on TVCo, so make sure you go to yourrealityrecaps.com/TVCo, download the app so you can chat with us when we are live every single day over there talking Big Brother, or follow my tweet on Twitter at realityrecaps. When I tweet it out before I go live, there is a link for you to watch on a web page and not in on the app, but then you just can't chat. And no worries, we are still live every single day on YouNow as well, talking reality TV and some little tidbits left over from Big Brother that happened after we recorded our daily show. And finally, if you want to help support us, consider becoming a patron. Check out yourrealityrecaps.com/patron for all that you get, or you can always do a one-time donation at yourrealityrecaps.com/PayPal, or if you have any Amazon shopping to do, yourrealityrecaps.com/Amazon to start your Amazon shopping. Of course, thumbsing up and subscribing on YouTube, hitting that bell, leaving a comment on YouTube, leaving a comment on our website. Great ways to help support us. 5-star rating and a nice review in iTunes is awesome too, or sharing our stuff on social media, Facebook, Instagram. Just share our content, tell your friends about it. Make sure you're hitting those likes and retweets. It is such a great way that you guys don't realize helps our shows, especially when you tell someone to check it out, or if you found something funny or like something and you share it with people and tell them to follow us or watch these shows. It really helps us so much. So thank all of you guys for supporting us in whatever way you can. And now, that being said, Aika, everybody loves you. You had hundreds of people here live watching you, and there'll be thousands more watching this back. What do you want to say to everybody who came out tonight to hear from you, Aika?
No, thank you guys so much for, always liking my opinion and following me, and, and for giving me this great platform. I honestly do, from the bottom of my heart, do appreciate my supporters and people who support us, because if they didn't support us, then we wouldn't have our platform, and it wouldn't matter because we would have no voice, and they make my voice matter. So I really do appreciate you guys.
And it's just a bonus that you're really amazing at what you do, so you make it easy for people who want to support you.
But you know what? Like, you could be as good as you are, but if you don't have engagement and you don't have numbers, EG Canada would drop me like this.
Well, we will make sure that you keep getting those numbers and you keep bringing the people in. So where can people find you, Aika? Where do you like people to follow you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter. I'm always tweeting about the season, as you guys all know, at the Aika Wong. And I'm also on Instagram at the Aika Wong. And I tell you what, I would have my name as Aika Wong, but somebody else already took it. And I want it back. But
you can get it. But by the way, seriously, you can get it, especially since you are on television and you've done stuff for Entertainment Tonight. You can literally file with Twitter and say, you are a public figure, that person is not, and you can steal it from them.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. I know people have done it.
Okay, maybe I might have to do that. I might, like, listen, I was on this little TV show. I'm on this little TV show again that airs on YouTube. Can I have my name back, please?
Thank you. We're gonna make that happen. Or, hey, if anybody watching here is from Twitter, slide into Aika's DMs on the social media and let her know how you can help her solve this problem. And of course, I will put the links to all of Aika's social medias down below so that you guys can click and access them instantly. And Aika, we cannot wait to keep up with you more and see all that you have to say more about this season.
I know, thanks for having me, Eric, and for always, being so patient and for always having me on your platform as well. I really do appreciate it.
Well, we love having you here, Aika. And everybody, I will see you guys later. Bye, everybody. Have a good night.
Hey, bye.
Oh, wait. Oh, Dimitri. Okay. Dimitri, say bye.
See you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Sorry, I had to give Aika her voice. Everybody wants to hear her opinion.
Whatever.
I can't say it.
Ow!
We already know you're not watching. Bye, everybody. Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.